Objective 3. Identify outliers in a set of data. The procedure: to find any outliers in a set of data. Number 1, we need to find quartile 1 and quartile 3. Number 2, we also need to find and compute the IQR, or the interquartile range. Number 3, we have to determine the lower fence, which is abbreviated by LF, and the upper fence, which is abbreviated by UF. These fences will serve as cutoff points for determining outliers. The lower fence, or LF, is equal to quartile 1 minus 1.5 times the interquartile range. The upper fence is equal to quartile 3 plus 1.5 times the interquartile range. Step number 4, if any data values is less than the lower fence, then it is an outlier. And number 5, if any data value is greater than the upper fence, then it is an outlier. So let's continue here. So here's an example. Again, using the example that we used in our previous videos, the following data represent the percentages of divorces in 1996 for select countries. We want to find any outliers, if any. Well, first and foremost, we need to know what is quartile 1 and quartile 3. So from our previous data, we know that quartile 1 is 53. And we know that quartile 3 is 66. And then we also know what the interquartile range is. The interquartile range is taking quartile 3 minus quartile 1, which we get 66 minus 53. So therefore the interquartile range is 13. Now we need to find the left fence, or the lower fence, excuse me. That's equal to quartile 1 minus 1.5 times the interquartile range. Well, quartile 1 in our data set is 53 minus 1.5 times the interquartile range of 13. So the lower fence is equal to 33.5. The upper fence is equal to quartile 3 plus 1.5 times the interquartile range. So that is quartile 3 is 66 plus 1.5 times 13, which is the interquartile range, and therefore the upper fence is equal to 85.5. So that means that the outliers are going to be either to the left of the lower fence of 33.5 or to the right of 85.5. Well, the largest number in our data set is 68, so we don't have any outliers to our right. But the lower fence is 33.5, so those small numbers in our data set, 5 and 6, would be considered the outliers. So the outliers here are 5 and 6. And again, what determines that is the lower fence and the upper fence.